Dave Allen versus Arslanbek Makmudov goes down this Saturday, and this is now my full card predictions. Let's get right into it. I mean, I'm honestly, before we do, I'm really, really, really excited for this. I'm actually really excited. I haven't been this excited for a fight in a very long time. And for some reason, this one, I've just got so much hype around it. Anyway, let's get right into it then, starting with Ibrahim Suleiman versus James Charigi. I'm going with Ibrahim Suleiman to win this fight. I think Suleiman will win. I'm gonna say points decision, unanimous decision. Um, Chirigi's tough. 22 wins, 10 knockouts, 6 losses. One of his losses by KO. He's tough. He's gonna be able to give Suleiman rounds. Suleiman's pretty flashy. Um, I think he's very quick with his shots and does have some good volume. Is a decent combination puncher. He doesn't really sit down on his shots loads though, so that's why, he's not a massive knockout artist. He's got a 50% KO ratio though, Suleiman, but I don't think he's got the power to be able to get Chirichi out of there. I think Chirichi is going to keep on coming forward. I feel like he's going to give Suleiman work, especially to the body. Um, I think he's going to make him dig deep. I think he's going to be his toughest test. I think, yeah, work is coming for Ibrahim Suleiman. It's not going to be an easy night in the office whatsoever. I think you're stupid if you think that. I think Chirichi, especially, I think possibly as the fight goes on, he's going to get success and give Suleiman work as the fight late as the rounds go on. I think Suleiman's going to start pretty flashy and well, but eventually I think Shirichi's going to really give him work and make him dig deep towards the end to really fight for it and really, be able to go on and get a win. It's not going to be easy for Suleiman. He's not going to be able to just dance around Shirichi. He's going to be given work throughout the whole fight. So I think it's one which Sumo can't really afford to switch off him, but I think it's one which he will get a comfortable decision winning, but he will be given work. Anyway, next up then, Hamza Yadin versus Paul Roberts. Um, I'm going with a Hamza Yadin win. I think Hamza Yadin will stop Paul Roberts. I'm going to say in 4 rounds. Yeah, so far from Hamza Yadin, 5 wins, 2 knockouts. He hasn't really had anyone that's really pushed him to the limits or tested him yet. He's been able just to dance around all of his opponents with his hands down. I think, I do like what we see from Hamziyadin. I think he works angles well, but I still feel like his defense is questionable. Like it hasn't been tested in any of his 5 fights so far. So there's questions to be answered with him, and I don't think Paul Roberts is the guy to get questions out to him. I think Yadin's going to be able to make easy work out of Paul Roberts. Um, I think he's just going to be so much quicker, and I think Yadin will be able to stop him. Um, yeah, I think Roberts is way too basic for someone like Hamza Yadin. Um, yeah, I think it's easy. I think it's absolutely easy work for Hamza Yadin. I mean, Paul Roberts can take a shot. He is tough, but skill level wise, there's a massive gap. There's a massive, massive, massive gap, and I don't think Paul Roberts will really be able to give him much work. I think it's gonna be easy. I think with Yadin, it's just yeah, he hasn't been in there with anyone who's a threat, and I don't think this is any different for him whatsoever. I don't think it's any different. Anyway, next up then, we go to a really interesting one, a rematch between Junaid Boston and Bilal Fawaz. Um, Fawaz arguably won that first fight. I think he probably did. I think what let Fawaz down is just every time he bloody landed a massive shot on Junaid Boston, he was like, you know, just, I didn't like what we were seeing from him with just the showboating. And the moment he hit him with a great overhand, he just stopped and just loved admiring his work. You don't see anything like it. I mean, honestly, I've never seen a boxer admire their work as much as Fawaz. Um, he was really mugging Janae Boston off in ways in that first fight. I think Janae Boston's going to win. I think he's gonna win a decision. I think Janae Boston this time round, I think will sit down on the shots more, and I think will throw more combinations. I imagine Janae Boston will go to the body much more this time as well. I think Janae Boston in the first fight was just, I think there's lots of over exaggerated movements from him. I think, he moved when he didn't need to move. Um, I think I think the power of Fawaz really caught him by surprise, as well, to be honest. I mean, it was a draw, but I think Boston was lucky to get something out of it. I think Boston, as I said, he's going to be throwing more combinations. I thought we just saw too many single shots. There wasn't really loads doubling up on the jab from Janae Boston. We didn't really see it. It was just a load of single jabs, a load of single straights, and then he'd move off. But I think he just didn't sit down on his shots enough. I feel like on the inside, when at times when Boston was on the ropes, he sat down on his shots to get off the ropes, and we heard the power. Like, you know, we heard he had the power in that fight, and we know he has. He's got 8 knockouts. The guy's got power. I believe he's got 8 knockouts. I might be wrong, but again, he's got power. He's got a high KO ratio. We've seen it. We've seen him knock out and stop guys many times before in his career. But Fawaz gave him work. But yeah, I just think he just did things which he didn't need to do, as I've been saying. But this time, it's going to be a much more disciplined performance. And I think Fawaz has got to be much more disciplined as well, because he wasn't disciplined enough. And if Fawaz was a bit more disciplined, he could have got something out of the fight. I don't think the judges liked the showboating from him at all, but there was no discipline from Fawaz in that fight, and that's what he needs in this fight. But overall, I think Boston's the more skilled guy. Boston will fix up. Boston will win. Anyway, next up, Josh Padley versus Reese Bellotti. I think Josh Padley will win. Ah, he's got a tough night's work. He's got a real tough night's work, though, Josh Padley. Reese Bellotti brings the fight every single bloody time. It's not going to be easy. I think Padley wins a decision, but Bellotti's going to be able to rack up some rounds. Bellotti will rack up rounds. I think Padley's going to be able to outbox him. Bellotti does come forward over the front foot quite a bit, and I think Paddy's going to be able to take advantage of it. Paddy throws some real nice straight shots. I think boxes and moves really nicely and well. And I feel like Paddy's very good and calculated, and the guy can also slug it out with you. The guy can be in a war. The guy can throw. The guy is tough. Both guys are. This could be a war. And I think it's going to be Bellotti coming forward, trying to push the pace. Padley's going to be backed up on that back foot quite a lot, having to fight off the ropes, having to fight on the back foot. And it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that. Because I think against Chamberlain, Padley was able to dictate the pace. Wasn't fully always on that back foot. Shakur Simpson would not going to talk about that fight too much. It's kind of irrelevant for him now. It took on 3 days' notice, wasn't conditioned, and Shakur's levels above him. But I think Josh Padley will win. I think he's got the grit to win. I think he's got the better technique and the better boxing overall ability than Bellotti. I think Bellotti might end up guessing a bit too predictable for him as we go. And I think Bellotti might be caught in just doing the exact same thing, throwing similar combinations. And I feel like Padley's eventually going to clock it. And I think Padley will be able to keep him at range. I think Padley's going to be able to get working behind that jab. And I expect Padley to be able to win. But he's going to be given work. It's not going to be easy at all. Anyway, next up then, the main event, Dave Allen versus Arslanbek Makmudov. I am going with a Dave Allen win. I think, honestly, Arslanbek Makmudov has got a tailor-made style for Dave Allen. He does. He does. Dave Allen is going to be able to stop Arslanbek Makmudov. I'm going with rounds 4 to 6. Dave Allen stoppage win. Makmudov hates pressure. Makmudov hates pressure. Dave Allen's going to be able to be on the front foot in this fight. no matter what circumstances we're in, if Dave Allen's going to be on that front foot, he's going to be able to push Makmudov back. Allen's looking in real good shape as well. That could either be really good or it could affect a little bit if he's under his usual weight. I don't. I think it'll be fine. I think Dave Allen's taking it real serious, and I think the pressure's going to be too much from Makmudov. He's going to hate it. Dave Allen's going to be ripping him to the body, which he won't like. Um, I think Dave Allen mixes up his shots well, and I think Dave Allen is really dangerous whenever he's got anyone on the ropes. He's very dangerous. He will offload. He's gonna keep pressuring you, and I feel like he's very good at, taking constant shots on the gloves. I think he's good at coming back when he needs to. I think Makmudov will throw. I think, Makmudov throws pretty wide shots. I think Dave Allen will come back, throw some nice tight shots, mix it up from head to body really well. And I think Dave Allen will back him up, and I think Dave Allen's going to be able to stop Makmudov. The pressure's going to be too much, no matter what. Even when he's not throwing, he's going to make him work. Makmudov hasn't really got a gas tank either, and whenever Makmudov's under pressure, whenever someone's throwing some haymakers at him, or when they're coming at him, he absolutely hates it, panics, he gets all off balance. I think Dave Allen's got very good balance, to be honest. I feel like Dave Allen's always composed in there. Whenever he's even hurt, he's very good at keeping his composure in there. And I think Dave Allen's got a tight enough guard to take the shots to Makmudov. I think he's smart enough at being able to manage the distance to be able to take the shots from Makmudov. And Dave Allen's bloody tough as well. And Dave Allen's going to come back, every time Makmudov's coming at him. Makmudov would give him something. Dave Allen will probably come out with something even better. I think Makmudov's so overrated. I've always said it. I think Dave Allen gets the win here. Don't be surprised. Rounds 4-6, Dave Allen. I backed him against Fisher. I'm more confident he wins this than I was going into the Fisher rematch. Dave Allen rounds 4-6.